All right, kicking Miles out. All right, everybody. So Miles is going to join us back here in 1 second. I hope everybody out there likes and shares what we are doing. I think that if we get this technical thing fixed, we'll be up and running again in just a moment. So right now, we are going to talk about several things today. One, we're going to have, looks like Anthony Good is going to be back on with us. We're going to find out how his job search is going. We had a little bit of fun with him last week. We're going to talk about personal branding, increasing influence, and just overall general being happy and being kind to people. All right. Miles,
Hello.
you there?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
We were talking before you went live and it was working fine. And then you hit the button and I was gone. So
I know. I was saying all kinds of bad things about you while you were gone. So I'm glad
that's right.
Glad you were out of here.
I'm sure all of them were true, everyone. They're all true. Whatever he said, it's absolutely true.
Just go with it.
Just go with it. I did it. It's my fault.
You know what it is? It's those new fancy earbuds you're wearing. That's what the problem is.
Maybe.
Well,
we trade one tech problem for another.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, so we were just talking about, well, when I say we, I was talking about, personal branding, increasing influence, with everything going on in the world today. Today's episode is really just about being kind, being yourself, right? It happens in social media all day long. We see banter go back and forth. We see people give us a hard time every once in a while, whatever the case is. But I mean, I think the reality of it is if you're genuine and you're kind and you put your best foot forward, in discussions and everything that you're doing, increasing influence and personal branding goes a lot further for you. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. 2020 has been a wild year, right? And a lot of people can be focusing on sort of resource hoarding, right? We're all worried about our own household and what's going on and own personal things that we have. So it's human nature to want to go into self-preservation mode.
Right.
And there can be that thought that there's only a finite amount of resources in the world. So you have to get what's yours and you don't want to give stuff away for free. But when it comes to networking and increasing influence, it's adopting a different mindset that there's enough out there for everyone, even people you're directly competing against, right? There's going to be a reason why someone would choose to do business with you over them. And if you just focus on showing up, being positive, relating to people, bringing value, even giving ideas away for free from time to time, right? That creates some reciprocity where people will have gotten so much value from you. Now they're going to want to buy from you, want to patronize your business just because you've been such a great resource for them. And so it's like, don't hold on too tight, right? Because then it might slip through your fingers. Is that same idea? You can't hold on too tight to what you know, because then people won't want to work with you.
Well, I mean, that's really it. Listen, people buy from people they like. We talk about this all the time. Unless you're Apple or Microsoft or, some big player with billion-dollar marketing budgets that can build brands, without any human interaction for the most part. It's a true comment. People buy the person typically first in the world of business. So with that said, Anthony said he was going to hop on here and not too long. It's going to be kind of fun to ask him how his journey has been since the last time we spoke. He had Alistair reach out to him. He had, I think Tom Reddy reached out, in regards to what they have going on, Synergy Steel. And I'm sure there's several others that are hopefully reaching out with them over time. So Miles, what about in your world? Tell us what's happening at Mojo Active. What are you guys up to? Tell us a little bit about, some of the people that you're dealing with. Are you seeing people spend more time on their branding right now?
Yeah, I mean, not so much branding specifically, but definitely making investments in moving over to digital spaces, specifically when it comes to advertising. A lot of people depended on trade shows. If we're talking about B2B companies, think about the International Building Show, right? If that weren't to happen in Las Vegas, a lot of people would go, oh crap, how am I going to reach the same volume of people? Right. So it's working with folks on how they convey their brand in that one-to-one environment in front of someone in real life, and how do we take that and convert it to digital ads and online webinars, other products that you can put out there without ever seeing someone, to have the same, if not a more effective reaction. So we're spending a lot of time on that, for sure. There are definitely some people that when everything first happened, there was the panic mode again, let's hold on to resources. And there were some people that paused their marketing until they got a sense of what was going on. Right. But we're definitely seeing more and more people come back, with a vengeance, right? Spending more than they had in the past because they have to. There's really some of the only ways to reach people now are through
Right,
digital
right.
avenues.
Yeah, for sure. It's very true. So do you see people actually now like ramping up to come out of this? Is
Yeah,
that what
for
you're
sure.
seeing? Are you seeing people saying, all right, the crisis looks like it's coming to an end. We're gonna ramp up and we're gonna move forward.
Yeah, and the data is showing us that as well. We do a lot of services, but we specialize in two major solutions that all those
Right.
services fall into. The
Yep.
first would be lead generation, and the second being e-commerce. So
Mhm.
the data for each, we're seeing both increase. There was a trend of it dipping, and now we're starting to come up with people filling out contact forms, downloading those resources to get more information, getting back into the education side of the sales funnel to make a purchase decision.
Right.
And then we have some clients that are having record breaking years where more and more people are buying things online. Part of it, I think, you can't tie directly to the stimulus checks, right? But most people have
Right.
free money in their pocket that they want to spend,
Yep.
and people are doing that. Or it's just, cabin fever has reached an end and they want to feel some sort of normalcy. So they're spending money, they're making plans, and we're seeing the online stores. So people that had stores are seeing sales come up, and now people are like, oh crap, I need an online store, because the brick and mortar side, it can't be the only thing you do anymore to be viable, because you never know when this is going to happen again. So we're very busy. To answer your first question, what are we up to? A lot. Very busy. Yeah.
Well, busy's good. I mean, between you running the digital side of the company and 2 podcasts, Increasing Influence show on Thursdays here, wife, kids at home, dog,
right.
gym, TED Talks, writing a book. What am I missing?
I started an online course. I don't know if I talked to you about
See?
that. I'm experimenting with that. So
no wonder you don't have any dang time.
Yeah. But so, yeah, I do it myself. I feel like part of being a good leader, if I'm talking about leading a digital side of strategy, is I have to know what I'm talking about. So before I suggest a strategy to somebody, oftentimes I use all my side things to experiment and try it myself. So at least then when I come to them, I could say, okay, here's how it worked for me or didn't work for me. If I could do it differently, what I would do differently. So at least I can talk to them on a level and it's not just all hypothetical. So
Yeah. Well, I love it. So, hey, listen, we got, look who showed up. It's about time you showed up to the party, Anthony. Where you been, man?
Actually just tagged him in a job post I saw that Volumetric Building Companies put out. And I tagged him in that job post. Yeah. So we're adding to his job search.
Anthony, I sent you a link so you can just click on that whenever you want. You can hop in and spend a little time with us today. We want. I mean, maybe this is our new rule. Maybe we're job finders for people. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, whatever works.
Yeah. So, Jennifer, kindness now more than ever. Being genuine, speak the truth, share. I love it. All right, Miles. So here's the deal. We have a couple big weeks coming up.
We do.
And I think that a lot of people are going to be real surprised at the level of talent and influencers that are getting ready to hop on our show. Next Thursday, we have Professor Nez. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Nez
I'm excited to pick his brain.
Coming to Increasing Influence.
Yeah, selfishly, I'm excited to pick his brain for all of our stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone else will like what he has to say too.
Well, I think so. I mean, like Professor Nez could fit in any of the shows, podcasts, any of the live shows. He has so much to offer when it comes to branding and what have you. And the big side is he's a huge public speaker. I mean, that's really what he gets, I think how he makes most of his money and gets paid for these days. He's also a professor. Professor Nez, like a real professor, not a self-proclaimed. It sounds like a good online name. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he is. I think I've seen him teaching in classrooms. And then also we have who's coming on the week after? Why don't you introduce it? I know you know.
Yeah, so after that will be Brandon Polzuk. He is the founder and CEO of a company called Social Butterfly in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And he's done a lot. I'll let him tell his story, but last year, he had the honor of being named the Young Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Minnesota by the Small Business Administration.
Oh, great.
And so we could talk to him about how that came to be, how he started the company. And his is really a good story about everything we talked about in the beginning of sharing, bringing value, kindness, being genuine, all of that. That's really how he's built up his business, and a lot of personal connections he's made as well along the way with some other heavy hitters in the worlds of marketing. So it'll be a good conversation.
Yeah, no, I think it will be a great conversation. I mean, I was checking out his site and reading through some of his stuff. Definitely very well versed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's well ahead of his years. I think he's like 20, he's 25 maybe. I mean, I'm a year off, but he's done more, in the 3 or 4 years he's had out of college than most people would do with half their careers.
Right.
He's all about this word behind me. I switched out my signs. I used to have execution. I changed it out to be hustle. He's all about that, man. He puts the work in for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. So, all right. So we're going to have Anthony join us in just 2 seconds. The thing of the matter was I was going live on Instagram, like I said, as well. But then I realized something, Miles.
What's that?
I'm going live by myself. You're not on there with me.
I started disembodied voice.
This is like, I'm not even talking to the Instagram camera. I'm going, well, that's a little odd. They're probably wondering why I'm looking somewhere else and talking to somebody they can't even see or hear.
That's funny. Well, that's the call to action. If you want to see the whole thing, tune into LinkedIn.
That's right. See, that's what we can do. The call to action. We'll go live on Instagram each week as a call to action. I wonder if you can post stuff. See, I'm not real versed on that social media platform. I need to be, though, because it seems like a lot of people really love using it.
Yeah, for sure. It's just another experiment to do.
I know it. So we got a couple things that are going on. I mean, I'm going to be hitting the road again here real soon, traveling around, working on increasing influence and building other people's brands. We're going to be in factories doing live streams, Miles, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be filming other people again.
That'll be interesting to see in the factory how you do social distancing and masks and all of that in the construction environment where guys have to crisscross over each other in the stations. That'll be interesting to see how people are doing that. Yeah,
well, hopefully by the time we go, we don't have to do those things anymore. But I think it's around to stay. Is that the word? It's here to stay for a while.
Yeah, well, until we have a vaccine, I'm sure that's going to be what's recommended by all the health organizations.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like they're getting closer. People are talking like they're getting close. So what else is going on in your world, Miles? Tell us what you have coming up. That's the big deal. Your TED Talk was delayed. When is that being redone?
Don't know. The fall. I texted the organizer just yesterday asking about that because the counties here in Pennsylvania are moved to green. Was red was bad, yellow's okay, green. People are getting back to work, and so
right.
He's not quite sure because of the venue space, what their policies are going to be. So we'll see what happens there. Probably won't be till the fall. Similarly, people want to wait and see and end up being a smaller in-person event. And then they might add some sort of component like this where people can tune in.
Sure.
So we'll see. But I mean, I'm actually glad, and I'm sure a lot of people maybe that had other things similarly are glad that it got postponed because it's just giving me more time to amp up around the TED Talk and then the book that I wrote on the TED Talk so I can focus more on once that talk hits the internet, it's not just going to be the talk. That's one of the reasons why I'm experimenting with the online course. So I want to create an online course around the book so I can do talk, release the book, in the book, point people towards the online course. And you just create that sort of snowball of where people could find you, where you can interact with them, add more value. And I wouldn't have done that if it was all as fast paced as it was shaping up to be. So that's really what I'm like, feel like I keep telling people that 2020 and this portion of 2020 is like my cocoon.
Right.
And I'm going to emerge on the other side, this badass butterfly, because it's just a lot of laying the groundwork right now for the second half of 2020 and what will probably be an insane 2021.
Yeah. So you're gonna be a badass butterfly with war paint.
That's right.
Anthony's here. Should we let him come in now?
Yeah, let's hear. I want to hear.
He's all smiles. I can see him in the holding tank. What's up, man?
Good morning or afternoon. How are you guys?
It is afternoon, right? I know. I can't keep track. Miles always says, no, our show's at 1. I'm like, what day is it? We do that all the time. What's happening, Anthony? How you doing, buddy?
Everything's good. Everything's very good. I was just
try the Brady Bunch.
I like it. Very command center. I like it.
So tell us, actually, I'm going to switch you guys around. I'm going to put you in the middle. Give me 1 second, Anthony.
Sure.
Hello.
Oh. Welcome.
It's just me. There you go.
Hold on. How's that? Boom.
There you go.
Pretty good at figuring all this stuff out. Miles, can I still hear you or did I lose you again?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Good. So Anthony, you popped in on us last week. You know, this is becoming a regular occurrence, which I think is a little bit of fun. How did everything work out for you last week? That was kind of fun that you had a few people talk to you about some opportunities, maybe.
Oh yeah, a ton of reach outs just after the show, and I followed up and had those preliminary conversations, and they're coming back around again this week.
Are they good?
I thought, yeah. So everybody reached out, and we followed up. The one thing I haven't done is the video for the email, but I did get these earphones so I could hear you guys better, and hopefully you can hear me a little better.
You got earpods too. Look, you and Miles are like twins now. You got like white earrings.
Yeah, I stole that idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it works. It definitely works. So, I mean, that's really cool. So, you know, we were talking about basically the 10 steps that we did on our show a couple weeks ago, Miles, where, you know, as you know, one of the things that we were saying is about doing the email, like put a video in your email.
Yeah. And funny enough, I had a LinkedIn message this week, and I actually had a Zoom call with the guy last night at things like 10:30. We ended up catching up. He wanted to be a guest on my podcast. He didn't do an email, but he sent a LinkedIn message with a link to a hosted video where it was him talking. He's like, hey, what's up? Here I am. Here's what I'm about. Why I want to be on your show. 10, 15 seconds. And it just made me laugh because it was the exact same that the same thing you were telling Anthony to do that this guy did. And it worked. Got me on a phone call with him, and he's booked up for the podcast. So
I love it. Well, yeah, definitely do it, especially if you're out hot and heavy searching it, you know, because everybody's going to take the 20 seconds to watch it. And then they're not going to care so much about your resume. They'll care, but your personality.
Okay.
Well, that's good. So you have some things moving in the pipeline, which is what it was all about.
Absolutely. And those results are great. I mean, I think that, you know, whether it's Denver or North Carolina or wherever the industry takes me, I'm ready to go. You know?
I love it. So, you know, just for everybody that's watching, you know, Anthony's, they came from traditional stick-built world, right? Construction.
Yep.
And you actually are really making a push because you want to be in offsite construction, whether it's modular, panelized, whatever the case is, which I think is super, super cool. And you were on the verge of having to go back to stick built because you didn't land that job yet. And as we all know, we can only go so long without an income. But what I'm hearing from you is there may be a possibility or 2 or 3 for you to end up in the offsite world.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely holding the poker cards there. So I'll probably look into July, keep working with you guys, and it's just been such a learning experience to be able to full-time sort of invest myself and just immerse myself in the conferences and the programming, especially yours. So it's been super helpful. I don't know if I want to give that up until I reach the finish line. So yeah, I'm definitely doing that.
Well, good. Keep plugging away on it for sure. So what do you have for us? What's new and exciting? What's new and exciting in your world? Have you had any really good conversations? I think why I'm asking is the show's all about, it's not really about offsite construction. It is, we talk about it, but it's all about increasing influence and branding. And you've been interacting within the shows all week long, you know, for months and months and months. You interact on this show. It would be really interesting to hear your point on how it's like got you to where you're at right now with us sitting here. Like this is the whole social media, right? This is interacting. This is what we talk about all the time. You were nobody to me a couple months ago, right? And vice versa. I was nobody to you. But you took the time to interact and have at it. Look, even you know this guy, Joel Hutchinson?
Yes. Yes, we have spoken. Yep.
All right. So tell us a little bit about the journey of all these contacts and people that you've known. Did you know Joel before our show?
No. I could tell you, I could just flat out tell you, I didn't know a single person offsite before I started tuning in at all. So so from the beginning, I mean, for me, it's all about common thread, right? We both enjoy a topic from various angles, and there's a lot to think about. So when people tune in, I know we have something in common right away. And I went from not knowing really anyone in the industry at all, to being able to jump on the phone, for example, with Joel and say, hey, I've heard this person, I've spoken with this list of people, and I'll list off 6 or 7 people. Say, oh, it's interesting what he's working on. And it's very, we see where the direction is going with these particular products and methodologies, and that's really my common ground. So with your show, it's been everything really. The first 100 people I've made contact within the industry, which I think is sort of a starting point, was directly right off the thread. I would even click on the little personality button and it would drop down everybody that's on the call, and I'd go through them one by one, if that's not too creepy.
Well, at first it was creepy. No, I'm just kidding. Miles, will you make sure we get him paid?
Yeah, right.
That endorsement. No, that's really cool. I mean, but that's truly how it started, Miles. And as you know, Anthony's been following us for quite a while in this show as well. I mean, what's your take on that, Miles? When it comes from you're a digital marketing manager, when people are looking for like Anthony is looking for work or looking to make career change or looking just to make connections and have common ground conversation, what's your take on this whole thing? Because he's living proof that this stuff works.
Yeah. I think the next step that you could take, Anthony, in addition to you making all these contacts, right, is somehow documenting them better, creating content around your journey into this, because you're not going to be the first person to ever want to get into the offsite world, right? There are going to be other people that want to do what you do. And so when that person says, man, how do I do this? How do I break in? Let me Google this. Oh, who's this Anthony Good guy who's got his story of how exactly he did it with podcasts, with articles, with white papers, video series of the how-to. You could make a brand and a company around how you've been finding. You can make a job out of how to find a job. As goofy as that sounds, but you absolutely could. And now you've got this network that you could tap into, get those people on, have them tell their story to you, have them give advice, and then you could package that up into content that you create, and then you can monetize that and make your own job in offsite.
So go back to school is what you just told them. Time YouTube, to write your papers.
YouTube University, man. You can learn it all online.
Yeah, and Miles, that's a great point. I guess my challenge has been also to make it unique, because I haven't really distinguished where I feel it was different, other than just being a lot more forward, right? But the comfort in being forward comes from being feeling like we're together on the same mission, if that makes sense. Like it's good enough that Dave and I are in the building industry, but in addition to that, we have the same goals within the building industry. So at that point, I don't feel like I have to be overly descriptive or grammatical. I mean, when I reach out to people, the first thing that comes to mind in connection with them and their experience and what we were tuning into is what comes out. I'd love to. I started a spreadsheet of managing sort of different points of contact, but I don't know if that's necessarily different than what everybody else does. Only when you reach a certain scale, it's hard to remember everything. So
yeah, for sure.
But documenting that, I suppose I could come up with something that would be interesting. I have to observe more of what you're doing and possibly be able to do that because it doesn't come naturally. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, it certainly didn't for me either. You have to kind of get over the awkwardness of putting yourself out there like that. But look what you're doing right now, right? You're already more than halfway there. And I would just say it doesn't have to be different than what everyone else is doing. What's going to be different is that you're actually creating the content around it. Like I'm not the only guy out there that has a podcast. Dave's not the only guy out there that's doing a live stream, but he's the only Dave Cooper. I'm the only Miles Biggs. So it's unique because it's me and there's only one of me and I have my own perspective. And so even if it's the same conversation, lending your voice and your take on that conversation is what's going to make it different. It doesn't need to be revolutionary in what you're putting out there, but it's just your take on it and it adds to that conversation and it'll provide value for someone.
Yeah, really. So if you really think about it, Offsite's just taken off, Anthony, right? Now, Miles, you have kind of a fun point. So we weren't going to have a long show, but this is going to turn into a long one. I have a so
busting the soapbox out, Dave.
Well, no. I always have the soapbox. I have like 100 of them. But the reality of it is, Anthony, what Miles just said is almost brilliant because right now the offsite industries outside of overseas is full of old people. Me, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know Miles' background, but he was the general manager of Ritz-Craft Corporation for quite a few years. So he comes from the offsite industry as well. But for you to sit there and document your journey of how you broke into the offsite construction community and the things that you've learned and the people that you've spoken with, right? Because I mean, you've spoken with some pretty high level people in our industry. I mean, right? I mean,
yes.
Just about everybody I talk to, they go, "Do you know this Anthony Good guy?" I said, "I do." Well, I talked to him and I talked to him. And I said, "Well, good." But I think there's, life is a story. Social media is a story. Everything, each chapter in your book is, to your life is a story. It's a chapter. So I think what Miles is saying is right. I mean, you start just documenting, even if it's a video diary of your day and who you spoke to and where you got, and what you learned. One, I think it'd be really cool for you just to have that and look back on, I don't know if you have kids or if you had kids, that'd be kind of cool. But on the other side of it, it becomes a diary for people that are looking to hire you to see your drive, your desire, your tenacity, like what you're doing. And I think that's a very valuable thing to own and keep in your back pocket as well. Yeah. Time to go back to school, Anthony.
Yeah. The concept of video diary, I hadn't thought of that. Is that a common concept that's prevalent in the industry? I didn't know.
I wouldn't say in the industry, but that's the thing here. We're changing this industry because our industry is full of a bunch of old, I'm not even going to say it, but they definitely don't believe in technology. And that's the problem, right? And I think for the newer generation to come in, we need a different way of thinking, right? And I think that's the power of it. If you're the first to be doing it, it's just like, Casey Neistat, right? Daily vlogger. There's daily vloggers that are just out there saying, well, I had a chocolate donut for dinner, right? And I gained 20 pounds last week or whatever. You're just doing a daily vlog. I would say more just get on. You don't have to do live. You could just do an uploaded video, or you could do it live and just be like, hey, this was my journey today, and go live to YouTube and just build a small diary channel of what you're doing and don't care about who likes or follows, because it's going to be more just about the people that you want to see it. It'll be there for them to see and have fun with it. As you can see, I get on here. Miles gets on here. We don't care so much. Do we anymore, Miles? Do we care? We care, but we've been in the industry long enough that we can call it what it is.
Yeah, and just talk. And the other thing about that, what Dave's saying, is that right now you might not know what it is, but you just do it. And then in 3 years, you go back and you rewatch it and you take notes and you realize that you have a book.
Yeah.
You turn those videos into a book that you package, now you resell, and then you get speaking gigs, and you're known as the authority when you just started out trying to figure it out like everybody else. But there's so many different ways to do it. So
yeah,
we're blowing your mind now. You're like, holy crap, I'm just trying to get a job, guys.
No, I do think about it a lot, but for me, the toughest part, to be honest with you, is these live dial-ins. I talk a big game on the phone, but the moment the video comes on, it's like a deer in headlights. And I don't know if it's the same challenge for you guys, but the moment I'm sweating right now profusely, you just can't tell. That's the uncomfortable feeling that, luckily for me, maybe I haven't been so conditioned that it's not possible like many in the industry. But it is tough. It definitely doesn't. It's not second nature for me either.
Yeah. Well, and then when I interviewed Dave on my podcast, he shared his story where he was walking around a model home before he went live for the first time for like an hour and a half, pacing around, trying to get the right camera angle, rehearsing, and then hit the button. So I think it's something everyone goes through. When I had my first podcast episode, I'd listen back and just cringe, head in my hands, because I felt like I sounded like a complete idiot and hated the way my voice sounded. But the more you do it, and then the more feedback you get, because people will say to you, oh man, I can't believe you did that. Like, I could never do that. Or you get a random text from somebody that says they connected with a point you made. You start to realize that people are actually watching it or listening to it and connecting with it, and you're helping somebody with something. Then it starts to click. You get more confidence, and then you just get to the point, like Dave said, where it doesn't even bother you. It's not like you don't care. You're just not fazed by it. It's just a natural thing to step in front of a camera, smile, and start talking.
Yeah, yeah. I get nervous on some shows for sure. There's times where, I get somebody that's out of my realm on the mental scale, like, somebody like super uber, like smart. And usually for me, it's data, finance, things like that, where that's not where I spend my time in the industry. But, do it scared, man. That's the thing. And Miles is right. My first time that I got in front of a camera, it was not my intention. I was asked to do it. You got to start doing these live feeds. That's the latest and greatest things, and I finally agreed to it. And I did. I walked around a model home, retake after retake, because I was so worried about making a complete ass out of myself, just in front of people. I was like, that was my fear, or they'll call me on it. Do I really know what I know, or do I not know what I know? That's the thing. But it didn't happen. Like, people weren't calling me on it. I got more praise, and I get people that sit there, that are like rain wrap specialists. Well, that Tyvek's not tucked right, and you got a tear there, and I feel sorry for those homeowners. Blah, 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 blah. You get that kind of stuff. But the reality of it is, you just confront it. Most of the time, I just said, listen, let's have a conversation online live about this. So much. Let's understand this and have a conversation on it. I'm always willing to learn. You never hear a peep. You get little things like that. But the reality of it is that happens once in a blue moon. Just got to do it, man. I'm telling you. You got the personality.
You are on that advanced level, though. Like, remember when you were on the site dropping the hospital set?
Yeah.
That was a lot more challenging than, say, sitting at a desk. I mean, you were having a competition or conversation with someone that was very deep into the management and process, and you were on site and dealing with the technical issues. I mean, that's when I thought, okay, so I mean, he's moving along. The least I could do is get a video on the face,
So I know offsite construction and modular extremely well, right? I mean, it's just second nature to me. I've been doing it so long. What I don't know extremely well is the job search. Like, that's something right now. And I think that's kind of what Miles was saying. Like, just talk about what you currently know. What's happening? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? I think it actually would resonate, Anthony. I mean, I don't see a whole lot of excitement in doing it, but I think it would resonate, especially with so many people unemployed right now.
Interesting.
Yeah, and your initial question. I was going to say, Dave, your initial question to me is, in my management seat, if I'm looking for someone, what sets them apart? Sort of the point I was making, like, there are so many people that hit you with a resume and say they know how to do things or they did X and Y in their job. But then when you see someone taking it that one step further and they're doing it for themselves and they're putting content out and you can get to know them and see that they can write effectively, they can communicate well verbally on camera, you learn a lot that the resume doesn't tell you, and it's easier to find it. Then that's the person that's more likely to get an interview than someone who's got everything perfect on paper and you can't find anything about them online or not doing anything for themselves. So
that's it. Look at that. See, you're already getting from Facebook. Luis, how you doing? I hope you're well. See, people already love you, man. Doing great, Anthony. Doing great.
Yeah, thank you. I can put something together for sure.
Well, listen, we're just, it's more just a conversation thing. Whether you do it or somebody out there looking does it, it's a very powerful thing. And I think you'd have fun doing it personally.
Well, I have fun tracking the companies in the industry, and that kind of goes hand in hand, right? Because when you have to make a list of where you want to be or where you're taking things, you got to track everybody,
Right.
And so in that sense, that's something that I've had to and been doing since before I was with the search. So that might be a good segue. But if we can help other people, that's way better. Those unemployment numbers are going in the wrong direction still.
Yeah.
So and even that you could do an online course or a PDF download you give away for free, or an ebook you sell of, here's how I track my calls. Here's the template I used. Here's the script I used for cold outreach. You package up everything that worked for you, offer it to somebody else, and then you got a little product on your hands that you can build more content around.
Ask Miles. He doesn't sleep. That's all he does. He makes it sound so easy. Oh yeah, just write a product. Let's start. But he's absolutely right. Documenting your experience is a big thing, and I think that no matter which way you go, dude, you're going to be great. People are going to be very, very glad to have you. Honestly, it's It's been a pleasure just meeting you and talking to you and having you on the show. Just that alone has been fun for us, at least for me. Miles may not like you, but I like you.
Likewise.
I like it too.
Yeah. So out of all the people you're talking to, and I'm gonna put you on the spot, is there one particular job that you're more interested in than another?
Well, the conversation with Synergy is going very well, very early. So, but yeah, particularly exciting to work on scalable steel work. So that's the focus.
Have you seen the video with Tom Reed on the Howick machine?
Yeah, I was there for that one. That was live, right? Or you're talking about the video on their website?
No, it's on the website. We did this one at the summit in Pittsburgh. Were you at the BSC summit in Pittsburgh this year? Building Systems Council Summit? Yeah. So
no, but that's on his website. Yeah, I think
that is okay. Yeah.
So I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool machine, man. The whole setup's really cool. I mean, between Synergy Steel and Howick, there's Tom Reed and Tom Reddy. You got to keep them straight. Both phenomenal people, but they're from Pittsburgh. What do you expect? Everybody from Pittsburgh's great, but I love all things Pittsburgh. All right. What do you think there, Miles?
I think we should let him get back to his job search. We've taken too much of his time. He's got people to talk to.
I feel like we put him in detention and lectured him.
Hopefully he doesn't feel that way. That was not the intention.
Yeah. All right, Anthony. Well, listen.
Thank you.
Keep us updated. Let us know how it's going for you, and I'm sure we'll be talking, dude. If there's anything Miles can do for you, just ask him.
I will. A program. You're gonna write me a program. I'm gonna put a name on it. Yeah, exactly.
Now see, this is where it begins, Anthony. Look.
No, Joe. I know. We had a great conversation. I can't say anything. I don't have the disclosure agreement signed yet.
Joe.
That was a great conversation.
Yeah.
See what happens there? You get cornered.
That's it. Now he's definitely not doing video. See, foot and mouth. That's all right. I kind of set you up on that one, and I know the Synergy guys pretty well. So my bad. Be nice to him, Joel. He's a good cat. So. Well, hey, listen, Anthony, I hope you just get to a point where somebody offers you X and you say, I want Y, and they say, we'll give you Z. And then before you know it, you meet in the middle, and we'll be filming live from whatever place you're at. That'll be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Definitely have to pay it forward, and get a camera rolling. Absolutely.
Sure. All right, man. Well, listen.
Thank you.
Good talking to you, Anthony. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you, tomorrow, BS Friday. Jump in. It's going to be a great show.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miles. Dave, thank you.
Yeah. See you, Anthony.
All right. Well, that was fun. I'm telling you, that to me is just, it's just fun to watch other people get something out of what you're doing. That's the bottom line, honestly. We spend so much time talking about, on this increasing influence and branding, and that's just a prime example of somebody who's taking it to the next level.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right, Miles. Well, I think that's 40 some minutes. Let's we better get back to our day jobs.
Yeah. I do have a couple of meetings coming up here, and I think 15 minutes is my next one. So
yeah. Well, that's right. You said you have a hard stop today at 2 p.m. All right, buddy. Yep. Well, listen, it's always a pleasure, Miles. Next week, Nez Nation right here on Increasing Influence. It's going to be a big show. We're going to start marketing the daylights out of it today, tomorrow, all through the weekend. Right, Miles?
That's right.
And then
School will be in session, as they say.
And then we got Social Butterfly the week after that. Dude, I'm telling you what, we keep getting all these heavy hitters on here. How cool is that? That's a lot of fun. And not only are they heavy hitters, they're just really nice people.
Yeah, I think that's what you'll find as a constant is sometimes we put people that we see as successful upon a pedestal and think they're unreachable, but everybody started out where you are all, you being the royal you watching, right? Wherever you are right now, somebody that's super successful started out where you are. And it's interesting to learn how they got to where they're at, because there's certain things that what they did that you can take out and make work for you and
right.
put in your own journey. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. You know, I remember just one antidote and then we'll go. But even with Professor Nez, I reached out to him a couple years ago when I was starting, you know, with the video. And I'm like, oh, you know, all this is happening. He actually picked up the phone and took my call.
Awesome.
This is a guy that gets a couple $100 an hour, you know, type thing. And I think it was really cool. So it'll be a lot of fun to have him on the show, learn about what he's doing, and the social butterfly and everybody else. So, all right, everybody. Miles, you got anything you want to add other than you got to get to a meeting?
No, just if there's anybody else out there like Anthony, I do think it's fun having people on the show and just hearing what they're going through. And perhaps if they're open to some live advice in a bit of a hot seat session there, like we just put Anthony in, I think that'd be fun to do. So reach out to one of us and let's get you on the show.
I think Anthony got an A+. If school's in session, that he's got an A+. Good guy. I agree with you. So if you guys want to be on the show, always just send us a message. We'll see if we can bring you in. And I'm Dave Cooper.
Yeah, and I'm Miles Biggs, and see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Everybody have a good day. Bye now.